A strawberry bruises with a touch, yet travels continents. How does something so fragile end up perfect on plates oceans away, sweet, chilled, and untouched by time? It begins before the sun even rises. The fields stretch low and wide, rows carved in rhythm with the breeze. By first light, crews are already moving through them, hands trained by seasons, eyes scanning for the perfect shade of red. It isn't just color that matters. A strawberry ready for harvest gives slightly at the tip, but stays firm near the stem. Pick too early, and it lacks sweetness. Pick too late, and it will collapse before it ever reaches a shelf. Timing here isn't art or science. It's both, practiced hundreds of times in a single morning. California alone grows most of what the world consumes, but it's not alone in the challenge. Southern Spain, central Mexico, parts of Egypt and Morocco, they all chase the same balance: ripeness and resilience. In these regions, the growing season moves like a pulse across the calendar, adjusting to temperature shifts, labor availability, and export demand. But no matter the country or climate, once the fruit is off the vine, the real challenge begins. Strawberries are what scientists call non-climacteric. They don't ripen after harvest, their shelf life shrinks by the hour, and their high water content makes them especially prone to mold, bruising, and cellular breakdown. Heat is the enemy. Within minutes, a berry left in the sun can rise to 80 degrees or more, just warm enough to begin softening from within. And soft berries don't fly well. That's why harvest doesn't end in the field. Crews move the filled trays fast, shuttling them to edge-of-farm cooling stations where chilled air pulls out the field heat in a process called forced air cooling. These systems drop the fruit's core temperature to just above freezing, typically around 34 degrees, within hours. Any delay means flavor fades, shelf life shortens, and microbial risk climbs. The clock starts ticking the moment a strawberry is touched, but cooling is only part of the puzzle. Packaging has to protect without suffocating. Vented clamshell containers, stacked in palletized towers, allow air to circulate while holding the fruit snugly enough to prevent shifting during transport. Each crate is engineered with a purpose, its perforations aligned to the airflow of cooling tunnels, its height set to minimize compression. Even the film on top serves more than one role: barrier, label, breathing membrane. What seems simple in the produce aisle is shaped by dozens of invisible constraints. One drop of condensation inside a container can trigger mold. A truck delayed an hour on a hot day can turn $1 million shipment into compost. And so the question becomes more than how to grow strawberries. It becomes how to protect them from the world they were picked to enter. Across a quiet airport hangar outside Los Angeles, lights buzz against the ceiling as palletized crates of strawberries arrive through rolling doors, their arrival as silent as the fruit inside them. These berries, only hours out of the fields, have already passed through an invisible sequence of preparation: chilled, packed, sorted, and secured in clamshells with vented lids and soft grips that minimize the risk of bruising. Their core temperature sits just above freezing, the skin dewy but dry to the touch, signs that the cold chain has held. Because in this world, freshness isn't a flavor, it's a condition measured in fractions of degrees and fractions of time. The trucks that carried them in are specialized reefers, refrigerated vehicles built for control as much as motion. Before a single flat of strawberries is loaded, the trailer's air is pulled down to between 33 and 36 degrees Fahrenheit, matching the cold of the berries to prevent condensation. The pallets are spaced carefully to allow for air circulation, and drivers are trained not just in navigation, but in the language of perishables. Vent settings, floor drains, internal fans, all of it matters. A poorly closed door or a blocked vent can change the environment by just enough to let spoilage slip in. One extra degree can cost thousands of dollars in a single shipment. In the cargo hold of a commercial aircraft, a strawberry doesn't know it's flying, but everything around it has been engineered so it can. In the modern produce supply chain, Strawberries are treated with the same consideration as medical supplies or live animals, sometimes more. Dedicated airline programs now cater to fresh fruit, offering cargo bays with climate control, floor-level airflow, and prioritized unloading to reduce ground time. These strawberries, boxed in reinforced corrugated trays and sealed under breathable films, are given tracking tags that relay humidity and temperature data in real time, not just from airport to airport, but warehouse to distribution center, dock to shelf. And yet, before they ever reach the plane, they are processed through a network of decision points. In cold facilities attached to the airports, operators inspect packaging integrity, verify produce codes, and stage crates for loading according to priority, destination, and perishability. Strawberries headed for distant retail markets might be rerouted to more direct flights. Others, bound for processing centers or wholesale, may take secondary routes. It's a global puzzle that resets every day, with ripeness as the ticking clock. For berries headed to closer markets, refrigerated trucks often outpace air. A truck leaving Oxnard can reach a Denver warehouse in less than 24 hours. In Europe, berries picked in Huelva, Spain, are chilled, packed, and sent toward Paris or Berlin the same evening. These overland routes favor short-haul efficiency, avoiding the delays and paperwork of air freight, while retaining control over time and temperature. Many of these trucks use diesel-powered refrigeration units with digital thermostats and satellite-linked sensors. Dispatchers, often watching from remote logistics centers, monitor the pulse of dozens of trucks at once. A single red flag, a blip in temperature, a delay on a mountain pass, a sudden rerouting due to weather, triggers alerts and corrective action. In some cases, backup trucks are dispatched ahead of time to leapfrog at transfer hubs, so the cargo never sits still. But the future of strawberry transport doesn't end with wheels and wings. On international waters, new refrigerated containers, known as reefer containers, are extending the shelf life of frozen and semi-fresh berries on voyages that last weeks instead of hours. These containers are self-powered, insulated with vacuum panels and foam barriers that trap cold, like thermoses. Inside, gas composition is carefully adjusted. Oxygen is reduced slightly, while carbon dioxide is controlled to prevent fermentation or premature aging. Strawberries inside these containers aren't entirely dormant. They still breathe slowly, but in an atmosphere that quiets their decay. This method, while slower, uses far less fuel per pound than air freight, making it a favorite for companies seeking to reduce emissions without sacrificing quality. In some cases, the berries aren't even fresh when shipped. They're frozen, flash frozen to be precise. This method involves chilling the berries at temperatures below 20 degrees within minutes of harvest, locking in not only the fruit's shape and color, but its sweetness and texture. Flash frozen berries are the backbone of the industrial strawberry economy. They are blended into smoothies, folded into yogurt, baked into granola bars, or turned into fillings and syrups. For these, the rules change. Temperature consistency becomes more critical than speed. Even a brief thaw can lead to ice crystals expanding, damaging cells, and degrading flavor. That's why frozen berries travel in a different circuit. Dry containers packed in thermal blankets, routed along logistics corridors designed for maximum cold retention. Still, not every strawberry passes the test. In sorting facilities just beyond the fields, trained workers and automated systems scan for defects. Too soft, too green, too irregular. These berries are not wasted. Many are routed to processing centers where they're turned into puree, concentrate, or dehydrated products. Some are mixed with sugar and cooked down into jams. The trimmings, stems, leaves, and soft spots can be composted or converted into bio-based packaging materials. In labs just outside agricultural universities, researchers are studying the potential of strawberry plant fibers for paper, mulch films, and even low-grade plastics. Every part of the plant is being reconsidered not as waste, but as a resource waiting to be reshaped. Back on the consumer side, those strawberries that make it to supermarket shelves have already passed through 5, 6, even 7 sets of hands and checkpoints. Retail chains demand near-perfect appearance, glossy skin, rich red hue, no white shoulders, no cracks. To meet those standards, packers often sort berries multiple times, repackaging by size and destination. A clamshell headed to Tokyo might carry 12 hand-selected berries, cushioned in foam, retailing at a premium. Another, bound for a bulk retailer in Ohio, may hold 30 smaller berries, good for snacking but not for show. And then there are the specialty lines: organic, hydroponic, zero residue, each with its own supply chain, tracking system, and logistical protocol. All of it flows in millions of micro-movements toward a single outcome, delivering a strawberry that tastes like it was just picked, no matter how far it has traveled or how long ago it was harvested. It's not just a marvel of refrigeration. It's a test of coordination, of engineering, and of biological understanding. The modern strawberry isn't just grown. It's managed, preserved, and protected across thousands of miles by systems as complex as any in global commerce. And all for a fruit that spoils within days. A fruit so tender it can be crushed by its own weight. In a glass-walled store in Oslo, strawberries sit in neat rows, dry-skinned and glowing, as snow drifts softly outside. They weren't grown here. They may have left Morocco 3 days ago, or southern Spain the morning before. But now they're here, sweet and chilled, as if time never touched them. It's not just transport that makes this possible. It's the quiet coordination of air, timing, and temperature, refined through years of trial and loss. A fruit so fragile it bruises under its own weight is made to endure not by force, but by restraint. Some strawberries don't come from fields anymore. In converted warehouses in the Emirates, vertical farms stack them under LED lights, fine-tuned to mimic the early light of a California spring. These strawberries aren't freighted or flown. They're grown where they'll be eaten, insulated from desert heat, drought, and fuel prices. A shift is underway, not to replace fields or farmers, but to add buffers to a supply chain stretched thin by climate, cost, and demand. These enclosed farms, with mist-fed roots and sealed air, are not the end of farming. They're another shape of it. Yet the traditional supply still dominates, and with it, the quiet risks of delay, heat, or spoilage. A missed flight, a stalled truck, a broken reefer. For the fruit that doesn't make it intact, there are contingencies. At sorting hubs, berries that are too soft, oddly shaped, or fading in color are routed elsewhere, into puree, jams, or frozen packs. In larger centers, even the waste has a role. Pulp can be dried and turned into natural dyes. Seeds are sometimes pressed for oil. The stems, once discarded, are being studied for use in biodegradable packaging. Nothing moves untouched. Everything is traced, redirected, or repurposed. The tools behind this are growing smaller and smarter. Some clamshells now carry embedded sensors no larger than a fingernail, logging humidity and temperature from field to store. If conditions shift even slightly, if heat rises or airflow slows, alerts go out in real time. Algorithms predict which crates are most at risk, allowing distributors to reroute, sell early, or freeze before damage spreads. A few extra hours of shelf life, found in a shift of airflow or a smarter route, can mean the difference between profit and loss. In the fields themselves, technology is reshaping how fruit is picked. Robotic arms guided by cameras and infrared sensors are being tested, trained to select only berries with the right shade and firmness. They work slowly for now, but they don't tire and they don't bruise. With labor shortages rising and harvest windows tightening, machines like these may soon be more common, complementing human crews in fields too vast to manage by hand alone. Packaging too is being rethought. The clear plastic clamshell, long used for its visibility and protection, is under scrutiny. Some are now made from compressed paper fibers or seaweed-based polymers. Others use ultra-thin coatings that repel moisture and extend freshness naturally. Each design choice has consequences. A vent too wide dries the fruit. One too narrow traps condensation. The perfect container does more than hold. It breathes just enough, shields just enough, then disappears without trace. All of this reflects a deeper recalibration. Strawberries are no longer just seasonal fruit. They've become a global staple, expected to appear flawless no matter the month or market. But to meet that demand, everything around the strawberry has had to change. Cooling systems, transportation, predictive software, even the light under which the fruit ripens. What hasn't changed is the fruit itself. Still soft, still fleeting, still shaped by hands in early morning fields, and held in balance by systems built to carry something too delicate to last on its own. In the end, what we taste is far more than sweetness. It's coordination, timing, design, a soft red signal that nature and logistics, when perfectly aligned, can create something that feels like it arrived just in time. A strawberry in winter is more than sweetness. It's timing, cold air, and quiet precision. Taste it, and you taste a world built to hold something soft long enough for it to arrive.